Hey there, Jester here. Princess Posy pointed out that I was missing something in my bouquet. Can you see what it is? There's a little bee. I agree with the princess that flowers need bees. So I'm going to show you how to make one that you can stick in your own flower arrangements. What we need are, of course, some pom-poms, thread, a needle, sharp scissors, pliers, a little wire, some gray felt, and a bit of yarn. So, we are going to start by sewing our pom-poms together. You could just glue them, but then they just end up looking like this, more like a caterpillar. If you sew them, they squish up and look more like a bee. I'll show you. And, well, I have a slight problem. Being nearsighted, and these glasses only help with my far sight, I'm going to need to take them off for this particular project because everything is so small and up close. But there, now I can see my needle and thread. Should we thread it? Now I'm just going to pull it out a little bit like this rather than pulling it all the way down and tying it. So when you're sewing a pom-pom, you want to go right through the middle so that your thread is in there nice and tight, because if you just go through the side, it'll just pull right out. So you want to go through the middle where it's all knotted and all the strings cross so that it'll stay in there. So we want to pull it through, but we want to leave some thread for tying it at the end. So we'll do the yellow one, the black one, and the other yellow one. And then we go back in through the other way. Probably should have a longer needle for this, but we make do with what we can. Pull them tight, they squish up, but I always go through a second time to make sure that it's a little more sturdy. Back out the other way. Okay, take the needle off. Now we snug up our threads nice and tight. So we've got a bit of a squishy bee. To tie it, you make a knot like that, but then you loop it through one more time. It'll make a snugger knot. It'll hold while you make your second knot. So there is the body of our bee. Now we're going to give him some eyes. I'm using, for this size, I have just 6mm rounds. But it doesn't really matter what size, whatever you think looks good. Again, I'm going to use the yellow thread. And do much the same as I did when making the body. So when you're sticking the eyes on, you want to go through, because you want to go through the center of the pom-pom, you go kind of in the back of the other side. I think that's a good place for an eye. Again, you don't pull the thread all the way through, so you've got something to tie. And you're back out. Same way. And once again, I like to double the threads, so I will can't hit the hole, you can just go through again. And back out. Well, you can just snug that eye right in, and again, double loop the knot so that it'll hold firm. And then double knot to hold that one. Snip that off. And then we're going to do the same for the other side. Again, this time, since we're doing an eye on this side, we're going to come in this way. So maybe there. And of course, you can make your bee any color you want, any color eyes you want. I'm just going with the natural colors to make it very obvious that it's a bee. Snug that eye in nice and tight. Forgotten how many knots I made. I'm just going to make one more, just in case. Now you can see that that Princess Posy's bees don't have antennas, but I'm going to give this one an antenna just to show you how it's done. So we're going to put the antennas right there. So again, thread. But this time, instead of sewing a bead or a pom-pom, we're going to take a little bit of the yarn. They're going to be very long antennas to start with, but I'll trim them down. So, there's antennas here. So we're going to go up through the head. Now what we're going to do is try to very carefully go through the yarn. It's got a bit of a hold there. Put that down, back down through the head. And then we're going to go back up. Oops. We want it to be about where the head should, or about where the antennas are. You just kind of wiggle it a bit until you get to the right spot. And then you just loop it over. Back down through. Tie it. So first knot, second knot, and I'm going to trim it. And then we're going to decide how long we want these antennae. These are a little too long. So I'm going to trim them there. Now our bee has antenna, but it's still missing wings. And that's why we have felt. So I'm just going to approximate what size I would like, wings I would like on this bee. So this isn't an exact science. We're just going to cut out a little wing shape, and since bees have 4 wings, I mean all insects have 4 wings, it's easier to see on some than others. Flies, for instance, their secondary wings are very tiny. They act more like stabilizers, so you might never see them. Let's see if I like that. No, I want the want this bit to be a little narrower, or a little shorter, so that it fits just over the black pom-pom. There we go. This time I'm going to use the gray thread. It would be better if I had a light gray, but I don't, so I'm using this dark gray. Again, come up through the bottom, through the back, and put the center of the wings there. Move that down a little bit. Now I'm just going to go through this a few times to make sure that it's stable. And again, we want to go through the center of the pom-pom. So for at the front here, we want to come up through the back down here. And we don't want our thread to get tangled with the wings. That's all right. A few times to make sure those wings are nicely stuck on. You want it to come up right through the center, so it take a little bit of wiggling to get that right. Those are all pretty good. Trim that to make it a little easier to tie the knot. It's easier when the strings are about the same length. There. Now you have a little bee. And you could stop there. Just have a little toy bee. But if we want to stick this in flower arrangement, we're going to have to stick a wire through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to just take one end and just bend it, 90 degrees one way. Then I'm going to kind of come in the side here and try to stick it through him. But it's a little thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bigger needle, see if I can't make a little hole that will enable my wire to go through. This worked fine last night when I made the little one, but this one is bigger, so he's got more fuzz inside. I just leave the needle there. Now it's going to flop a little, so let's give that another go. There we go. So we pull that through, and then this little angled bit here. We'll keep it from going all the way through. Then on the bottom, we want similar. So I'm going to take my pliers and, again, fold it back about 90 degrees, and then make another little fold back that way, and then about in the middle, I'm going to come back down. There we go. Now our bee is on a wire. And I need my glasses back for this. So now we're not doing the little things anymore. So now I have to decide where about I want this bee. I think I'm going to want him about there, but the wire is way too long, so I'm going to trim the wire about there. Take off a little bit. Now I'm going to add my other bee. Now the one problem I find that is specific to what I've done, since I have these plastic pellets in the bottom rather than foam, is that these wires are kind of thin. And I did try a way with the green floral wire, but that is also fairly flimsy. Just kind of got to wiggle it in there. If you're using the green foam or dirt or styrofoam or something in the bottom, it would work a little. It would slide in a little better. But you need to decide what you want in terms of what fits. There we go. Now we have another bee. Yeah, are you pleased with that, princess? She likes it.